Alright, 6-2, starting with finding the inverse of a relation. When I say relation, that just means a set of ordered points like these. And these are really easy to do, but they're so easy that people forget about them, and then on the quiz you'll get it wrong. So the only step to this one is swap your x and y. Swap x and y. That's all. So the inverse of relation means coordinate points. You're just swapping the x and y values. So the inverse would be, my first coordinate point instead of negative 9, 10 would be what? Yes, 10, negative 9. And then what? Good. And the last one would be negative 5, 8. That's simple. Just don't forget it. That's the only hard part about it. So you don't change the signs. You just swap your x and y. That's all. Go ahead and do 2 on your own. Just swap your x and y values. So, Brandon, my first coordinate point would be what? Good. Toby, my next one? Good. Julia, my last one. Oh, sorry, I skipped one. Go ahead. Good. And last one, anybody? Yes, that's all. So relation, you just swap x and y. And now with a function, it's almost the same. You have the same first step. Swap x and y. But as you can see in functions, do you see an x in each one? Yes, it's right here and right here. Do you see a y in each one? You don't see it, but who knows what y is in each one? Like in this one, what's our y? F of x. I had a poster in here, but I took everything down. So f of x is the same thing as y. And so is h of x. They're just fancy words for y. So here's our y, here's our x. The second step in finding the inverse of a function is solve for y. That's it. And what I mean solve for y, well, when you get finished with it, it should look like y equals something. Y should be by itself. And that's it. Swap x and y, solve for y. So for the first step in this one, instead of writing f of x, I'm going to write y. It's just easier to deal with. So I'll rewrite it as y equals 2x minus 5. I'm just changing that f of x to y so nobody gets confused. Now we can swap x and y. So tell me how to rewrite this. Again, I'm not changing anything. I'm just swapping x and y. How would this look? Y'all are changing the sign, and I'm just trying to swap x and y. So instead of y, good. Yeah. So you're just swapping them, swapping positions. That's step 1. Step 2, solve for y. So what do we need to get rid of? By doing what? Alright, can we add 5 to x? No. But we can write it as what? Just x plus 5, good. Equals what on this side? 2y. And what do we need to get rid of now? 2. Very good. So y equals what? Very good. Over 2. That's it. One question. If I had a 10 right here instead of this 5, let me write it over here. If I had x plus 10 over 2, could I rewrite this as x plus 5? Why? Good. So in order to take something out, all of them have to have in common. Does everybody see that? If this was 2x plus 10 over 2, then I could simplify. But because this one does not have a 2 in common, I can't do that. Everybody see that? Alright, that's it for that one. Any questions? Alright, somebody tell me how to rewrite this one swapping x and y. Very good. You just replace h of x with x, replace x with y. Alright, I need to get y by itself. What should I get rid of first? The 3. Okay, how do I get rid of it? Yes, multiply the 3 by what? Just x? Yes, by both sides. So what will I have on my left side? And what happens on this side? The 3's cancel, because it's 3 divided by 3 is just what? So 1 times this would be what? Good. And now to solve for y? Good. Add 4, so y equals what? Perfect. Questions about that? Alright, I want you to try 3 on your own on the next page. Same steps, just swap x and y, then solve for y. Just number 3 right now. Go ahead and compare your answers if you're done. If not, just keep working. Alright, I'm going to write the answer first. Then if we need to go over it, I will call on people to go over it. Answer is y equals, I'm on the wrong page, negative 3 over 5x minus 24 over 5. We need to go over it? Yes, okay. I was walking around looking at some of y'all's work, and y'all were almost here. Y'all just needed one more step. Sierra, tell me how to rewrite this, first of all. Alright, so she replaced f of x with y. Alright, Simon, tell me what to do next.
Add 8.
Before that. So she just turned this to y. What do we need to do?
Multiply by negative 3 over 5.
Somebody help her. Yeah, swap x and y first. So this would be x equals negative 5 over 3, y minus 8. Then he said to what? Add 8, which is correct. Now that we swapped x and y, we can add 8. So what will we have on this side? Equals negative 5 over 3y. Alright, Evan, what do I do from here? Or what did you do? Good. That's what most of y'all did, correct? Okay. Another option we could have done right here is what? Multiply that by the reciprocal, which is what here? Yes, which is what I did here, but if you divided, that's fine. Just let me show you how to get rid of the fraction within a fraction. Here we know it cancels out to just what? Y. Okay, on this side, we know when we divide fractions, we have to do what? Keep, change, flip. I heard somebody say it. We're going to keep what here? X plus 8. Change to what? Multiplication. And flip what? Yes, to negative 3 over 5. Isn't that the same as multiplying by the reciprocal? So it's the same thing. It's just an extra step if you do this part, which is fine. Now we have to multiply. So we have negative 3 over 5 times x. That'll give us what? Negative 3x over what? Good. So this is the same as negative 3x over 5. And then here when we multiply the tops, which give us what? Negative 24 over 5. Everybody see that? So y'all are almost there. I think most of y'all just left it as this, correct? Just make sure on the quiz tomorrow you don't leave it as like a fraction over a fraction. Any questions on that one? Alright, I want you to try number 4 on your own. It's a little different, so let me know if you need help, or you can talk to somebody around you for help. Alright, if you haven't, go ahead and compare your answers. Alright, answers up here. Go ahead and look over it. Do we need to go over this one? No? Everybody's good? One question. Can I take the square root of negative 4? Like, can I just take 2i out here and leave the x? Yes or no? Do we know that what's under here is negative 4? What if this was a 6 right here? The x is 6. Then it'd be 6 minus 4, which is what? 2. Square root of 2 is not 2i, right? So these are one term. You can't really separate them. Okay? So you just leave it exactly like that. Any questions on that one? Alright. We're going to do also 1 through 3 on practice. Go ahead and do those on your own. Feel free to talk with a partner about them. And then we'll have people come up here and write the answers. If you have a marker on your desk and you're finished with the one you want to do, you can go up and put that one on the board. Alright, let's look at 1 first. What do y'all think? Good? Alright, that one's correct. What about number 2? Yes? That one looks good. What about 3? This says 3 over 2x plus 3 over 2 equals y. What do y'all think? Good. All of these are correct. Do I need to go over one of these? 1, 2, or 3? So everybody's good with finding inverse of functions. Alright. So we did inverse functions, inverse of relations. Now I'm going to show you how to check these, like the ones we just did, by determining if 2 functions are inverses. So flip back over to this one where it says guided practice at the bottom, 3a and 3b. So this is if you have 2 functions, like say if they give us these 2 and we have to determine if they're inverse functions of one another. So there's 3 steps. The first one, we have to find f of g of x. We have to compose the functions like we did in chapter 6.1. It was like the last 2 on your checkpoint. And then we have to find g of f of x. And if they are inverse functions, they will both equal x. They will both equal x. So if you find that f of g of x is not x, you can stop there. Okay? But if it does equal x, you have to find g of f of x, make sure they both equal x. If they do, then you put yes, they are inverse functions. If one of them does not, you put no, they're not inverse functions. So let's try with 3a and 3b, then we'll do some on your own. Alright, for f of g of x, which function am I rewriting? F or g? Yes, the first one. So I'm rewriting 3x minus 3. I'm replacing the x. So again, I'm just rewriting but replacing the x. And what am I going to put inside? Yes, this entire thing. 1/3 x plus 4. The entire function. Everybody remember that? Okay. So then I just clean it up. So I have to distribute the what? Yes, so 3 times 1/3 x will give me what? 1 what? X. Good. What's 3 times 4? 12. Then I have this minus 3. So f of g of x would be x what? Yes. Is that x? No, it's x plus 9. So we can stop there. No, these are not inverse functions of one another. Because they both have to equal what? Just x. Very good. So, if you're wondering how to check these during your quiz tomorrow, and I made it a short quiz, that way you could go back and check your work. You just find f of g, g of f, they both have to equal x. Then you've done it correctly. Okay? Alright, next one, we're finding f of g of x first. So, tell me how to rewrite the correct function. Go ahead, 2. I heard somebody. What next? Good. And then squared on the outside, and then minus 1. What happens when we square something that's underneath the radical? What cancels out? The radical. Good. Does everybody remember that? Like, for example, square root of 2 squared is square root of 2 times square root of 2. And what's square root of 2 times square root of 2? Square root of 4, which is 2. So anytime you square something that's underneath the radical, they cancel each other out. Does everybody see that? They're opposites. Alright, so right here we'd have 2 times what? Go ahead. X plus 1 over 2 minus 1. What happens? 2's what? You could just, you could distribute, but you'd end up, they'd cancel either way. And you have x plus 1 minus 1, which is what? X. Very good. We can't stop here because that doesn't mean the other one's going to be x. You still have to check both of them. So now moving on to g of f of x. Tell me how to rewrite it. Go ahead.
2x minus 1.
Good. 2x squared minus 1 plus 1 over. Good. Alright, so it looks a little messy. What should we do first? Cancel the 1s. Good idea. So we'll have square root of 2x squared over 2. What next? Good. So we have square root of what? Which is? Good. So yes, these two are inverse functions of one another. So again, this is called checking if two functions are inverse functions of one another. Alright, flip it over. Or any questions before we move on? Alright, flip it. I want you to do 27, 28, 29. And again, if the first one is not x, you do not have to do the second one. Anybody need more time on these? Alright, I'll give you another minute and then we'll go over. Alright, I have 3 papers. I'm going to put them up underneath and go ahead and compare your work, and let's see if we need to change anything. Alright, this is number 27. This person got no. What do y'all think? Good? Did y'all have this exact terms, 4x minus 6 plus 3, 4x minus 3? Any questions? Okay. Next one we have I'll do that one for the next one. Alright, this one we have a yes. Did y'all get that? Okay, for this one you should have got like 6 minus x plus x, and it's simplified to x. Everybody good with that one? And then the next one, kind of the same thing. You got 4x over 4 equals x. Any questions on that one? Alright, last one. This person only did one of them, but got yes. So I'll go over the f of g one, but for g of f, did y'all get square root of x squared and get x? Yes, no?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go over f of g.
No.
No? Okay, let's go over both of them. What am I doing? Sorry. Okay, let's look at this one. Alright, for f of g of x, this person got x. Is this kind of what y'all's look like? Okay. For the next one, they got x minus 9, so they said no. Is this one what y'all's look like? Okay. One thing that's missing right here is what? The plus 9. Good. So they plug it into this function. They have a negative 3 on the outside. They just forgot the 9. So it should be x plus 9, or x minus 9 plus 9. So you would cancel out to what? X, and the answer is yes. Oop, that was ugly. Any questions on that one? So everybody's good with this chapter? Cool. Okay, what I want you to do is get started on your homework, and you got plenty of time.